Well, a new book is calling for a unity of faith and reason to take a stand against what it says are ever more godless and irrational cultural elites. Fight the Good Fight is co-written by Jay Richards of the Heritage Foundation and Life Today TV host James Robinson. The book says that it provides a roadmap for those who love God, family, and honest public debate to defend the country's Judeo-Christian roots. We recently spoke with one of the authors. And co-author Jay Richards joins us now. Jay, great to have you back on the show.
Thanks,
first,
Tracy.
Tell us why you decided to write this book and why now?
Yeah, honestly, James and I wrote a book in 2012 called Indivisible, and we thought maybe we'll just sort of reissue that. But, we looked at the situation and thought we're in a different universe in 2024 than we are, were in 2012. I mean, the reality is those social conservatives, those of us defending life and marriage and religious liberty, we were feeling isolated, felt like the Republican Party and conservatives were trying to kind of throw us out of the big tent. Well, now we're in this moment in which the official elite and kind of public view denies things that everyone thought they knew just from reason alone. So the existence of males and females. And I've discovered from my work fighting gender ideology over the last few years that the whole situation politically and culturally is different. So that lots of people that would have been on the opposite side of these political and cultural debates a few years ago suddenly find themselves as allies.
And Jay, a main part of your book is a chapter called Male and Female, He Created Them. And in it, you call gender ideology one of the worst ideas of our time. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, I would say it's basically all the terrible ideas you can think of from the 19th and 20th century boiled down into a single issue that directly targets the foundation of civilization, the fact that it takes a male and a female, both fertile, to reproduce, to have children. That's the foundation of civilization. Gender ideology denies that. It says, okay, this idea of biological sex, that doesn't really apply to human beings. What we really are is this internal sense of gender, and sex is just something that's assigned to us at birth by our doctors.
Yeah, also in defending the right of Christians to worship God in public, I know you use the example from the Gospels of Jesus and the coin with the face of Caesar on it. Tell us a little bit more about that one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the reality is anybody that's following the news notices that basically any ordinary belief that almost any American had until about 30 years ago is now called Christian nationalism, the idea that you say you could bring your faith to the public square, or that we're created in the image of God and that's where we get our rights. This is a perennial and bipartisan idea that's as common to John F. Kennedy and Ronald Reagan as it would be to Martin Luther King. All of a sudden, this is sort of a radical idea. The truth of the matter is that the very idea of a separation of these realms of the state and the church, it's actually a Christian idea originally, as Jesus articulates in the Gospels when he's challenged, okay, should we pay taxes to Caesar? And what does he say? He says, render to Caesar the things that are Caesar's and render to God the things that are God's. In other words, there are these legitimately different jurisdictions. Saying that the church and the state should be separate, however, does not mean that we can't bring our faith and our religious beliefs into politics in the public square.
Yeah, and in the book, you also offer advice on how not to apply one's faith to politics. So how and why should we keep our faith and political beliefs separate?
Well, I mean, honestly, none of us want, I think, certainly no serious Christian wants the federal government here in Washington, D.C. We don't want the Congress debating the nature of the sacraments or baptism or these kinds of things, right? That's just not the legitimate jurisdiction of the state. What is the legitimate jurisdiction of the state? Well, those things that we know publicly, and that includes a lot of moral truths. So we believe that you should kill innocent people sort of irrespective of the details. We shouldn't violate people's rights based on the color of their skin. That's certainly a theological belief I hold as a Catholic, but it's also something that people know by reason. That's the legitimate jurisdiction of the state and of the federal and the state governments. And so teasing these things out is sort of complicated, but actually, if you just look at American history, Americans didn't have a problem doing this, bringing their faith to the public square while still insisting that people have religious freedom. It's only in this kind of hyper-secularized moment we're in which all vestiges of faith are supposed to be purged from the public square, that suddenly these ideas are controversial.
Jay, almost out of time here, but quickly, what do you hope people get from reading your book, and where can they get it?
They can get the book absolutely anywhere. And honestly, what we hope is, first of all, that Christians will learn to work together rather than sniping at each other, but also that those of us that are religious and social conservatives will reach out to former liberals and even people that still think of themselves as liberals, but believe in reason and common sense, and to see them as potential allies rather than adversaries.
Well, Jay, great to have you back on, and congratulations on the new book. We appreciate you coming on again. God bless.